All right, it's going.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Smart With Your Money Live. I am Chase Peckham, the Director of Community Outreach and Education at the San Diego Financial Literacy Center, the education arm of DebtWave Credit Counseling. And as always, I am joined by Felipe Arevalo. And this week, we're going to talk about what you need to know before signing financial documents. And this is something that comes up over and over and over again because we're signing financial documents all the time.
All the time, yeah. Even when you're not even realizing that you're just signing some other kind of agreement type thing, it can have financial implications. And it's something where, we talk to people and, about all kinds of things, personal finances, and you ask, like, there's just so much that you can learn from the contract before you sign it that you should know before you sign it. So this is a very good one. Hopefully it's a fun one as well.
Without question.
All right, so we'll get started. First, contracts are everywhere. And even the ones that aren't financial contracts could have financial implications. You just have to be aware that, oftentimes everything you're signing, and it doesn't even have to be a physical signature now these days. There's electronic, you just type in your name, check a box telling them you're not a robot, and you're good to go.
Well, I mean, even when you buy things online, right? I mean, that's a financial agreement, and you are
or in person. If you go to like the basic of it, you walk in, you buy a coffee, you are agreeing that you're going to pay them the $4, $5 and change, and they're going to give you a drinkable hot beverage that matches whatever their description is going to be.
Right.
That's a contract. Because if you order a caramel macchiato and you get back just a regular old coffee, you are allowed to go back and say, hey, you know what? I ordered the caramel macchiato. This is just regular old coffee, and get a refund or get it replaced or whatever it is.
Right. The biggest thing too is when you're, reason Amazon is so great in most cases, because they, delivery fees and shipping is free with a lot of those purchases. But that's not always the case with all the different types of websites that are out there. And if you just go sign and all of a sudden you realize that the shipping is more expensive than what you purchased, you might want to rethink those things. But It's one of those things where you're excited and you don't read everything, and you click on it, and it may be, you might read that you didn't read that it's going to be, you're expecting it within 10 business days, but it says in the little fine print or whatever that it can be out there. It could take up to 30 days. So,
So
crazy.
Make sure that you first and foremost read the contracts. There's always a little thing that says, I have read and agreed to terms and conditions or something like that. So it starts with I have read, which is what most of us skip and go straight to the signing part. But read, and honestly, some of them, if this looks like whatever she's reading, that could very well be a mortgage paper. That's about how big the mortgage files are if you're signing one of those.
Not even bigger.
It's really a matter of reading it and taking the time to look it over and explore all the different things that are on there before you sign, because after you sign, it's too late.
Right. It can be overwhelming, right? Most of us don't do it because it's just, I trusted it, but man.
I love to read. I don't love to read this stuff.
Oh, heck no.
Give me a good book and I'll sit and read. But, this stuff, it's not going to be the most exciting thing, but it is very important that you read it. If you already have a credit card, look at your credit card agreement. If you're signing up for a new one, look at the agreement that you're signing up for. There's going to be a lot of good information. It's not even always bad info. Sometimes you might have benefits you're not taking advantage of because you didn't read. And it's something where it's just important to go ahead and read, take the time and read it. So if you need your reading glasses, bring those with you and read. The people behind you at the line, if you're at like a store trying to sign up for a store credit card, they're not going to like you, but you can just step aside, read your contract, and then let them go ahead. Let them play through. If you don't understand what you're signing, don't sign it. It's just, ask questions. Ask questions to the person who's helping you. Not just have them explain it to you, but have them show you, look, I don't get section 3A or whatever it is. Can you please explain this to me? I don't understand this whole
Hopefully they
page.
can.
Hopefully they can. You hope that, if they're good at their job or whatever it is they're doing, and they can help you out. But they won't, it's not their job to make sure that you understand
Well, I mean,
unless you ask them ahead of time.
there's a good example of this, right? When you're getting let's say it's a department store card, and they do the whole, hey, if you sign up for the card now, you get 30% off, and you go, oh, that's great, and all you have to do is sign here. I mean, that's a big giant legal document, right? And if you're
Right.
not looking at it and you're not reading it, and if you come up with this question of, hey, what does this mean? I'm pretty sure that person behind the desk is not really going to know exactly what that is.
No, I used to quiz the when you go into the stores and they say, would you like to open up a store card today? And ask them, like, what's the interest rate on that credit card? Just a really basic, simple. And I love when they give you a real answer, like, hey man, I don't know. They just told me I got to ask everyone. I can appreciate that answer. Or they're like, it's in here somewhere, and they start paging through the little pamphlet. But they don't know that. And then you like to tell them, oh, well, it's actually something closer to this. But if you don't understand it, don't sign it.
Right.
There's just, what can go wrong? A lot of things can go wrong, honestly. There's just so many, depending on what you're signing up for, obviously. What can go wrong at the coffee shop or at the fast food place? Well, you just might get a bad order, or your credit card will get processed incorrectly or something. Nothing big deal is going to go on there. But as you start to get to bigger things, signing up for services, signing up for cell phone contracts, and then you keep progressing, maybe a car payment, a student loan, a personal loan, a mortgage, there's a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot of room for error, and you want to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, and make sure you're aware of what can go wrong, and so that you can address it and make sure that nothing goes wrong to the best of your power.
Yeah, I mean, and this happens with younger people too, especially when they're buying a car for the first time on their own, or they're purchasing something they don't really have an idea. They're just excited about the purchase of it, don't understand what they're getting themselves into. And then, a year later, they're going, why am I upside down so much? Why am I really struggling? And, we need to refinance.
You're right. Yeah, it's definitely something where there's a lot of room for error, and that error is usually not going to benefit you, the consumer. Right. So make sure that you pay attention. Make sure there's no blank spaces. If you're buying a car, you're signing up for something, and there's a blank space, have that space filled in before you sign it. Don't leave room for any kind of interpretation of, we'll fill it in later, or like, how much are you getting for your trade-in? Oh yeah, we told you 2,000. We'll fill that in later. No, fill it in first, and then I'll sign the contract.
Yes.
Because you don't want to sign the contract and then find out that they put 1,000 instead of 2,000, and then you're out of luck because that
it's an official document.
It's an official document. I don't know how legal that is. Definitely not ethical, but
definitely
not signed it. So
that's a different conversation altogether.
It is. But just avoid that scenario altogether. And most lenders are going to be reputable and honest. So, you hope that they fill out the information correctly, but avoid that possible scenario by just making sure everything's filled out.
No doubt.
Don't get pressured into anything. If you're being pressured by a salesperson, if it's one of those sign now, forever lose this deal, or, this offer is only good for 20 minutes or things like that, maybe that's not the right purchase. Maybe that's not the right agreement for you. You should be able to take your time and explore options, or if you're feeling way too pressured, that could be a red flag right there. And you might need to just walk away from that.
Yeah. You'll feel better than you do if you're stuck with a 7-year loan that you really didn't really want.
Right. Or maybe like you're sitting there like, I don't even really think I wanted this car. I wanted the other one. Why did I get, what? So don't get pressured in anything. And
bottom line is, listen to yourself. Your gut tells you something. Listen to it.
You get that feeling, and your body starts giving that feeling, this doesn't feel right. Listen to your body and walk away. And there's a reason that our bodies have gotten so good at telling us this doesn't feel right. something didn't check off the boxes in your subconscious, and feel free to walk away.
Right.
And if it's such a great deal and you just need some more time, bring a copy home and come back tomorrow and sign it. Give yourself time to walk away. This is big on like, car dealerships where you spent the last 6 hours sitting there at this car dealership, and now it's like past dinner time. Your kids fell asleep on the chair next to you. You probably don't want to bring them because they're
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
No, but I've seen it. I don't bring my kids to the car dealership.
Oh, I have.
And it's something where, that's when you find like a babysitter and like, I need help. But at that point, you've been there for so long, you just want to get it over with, but that might not be the right time to be reading over a contract for thousands of dollars for a car, for example. Bring that thing home, especially if it's already late at night. They're not going to sell it to the next person walk in through the door. And if they do, you'll probably find another car. There's a car shortage right now, so that might be difficult in these days, but for the most part, you're just going to be able to find another one.
But they are trained so well into not letting you off the lot.
Oh yeah.
Because they know that if you leave the lot with a document unsigned, the chances of you coming back are less than 50%. So they know that they got to get the sale while it's there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that as a consumer, you
can't.
should be pressured and feel like I have to do this.
Right. It's their job to get you to sign it. It's your job to make sure that you're signing the right thing. And it's your right to walk away. So, feel free to do that. They may call you with a better deal tomorrow morning.
Right. Beyond the fact that it could be a negotiating tactic.
Right. Bring a second pair of eyes. Yes, this is a Spice Girls quote right there on the gift. But, bring a friend. If you don't feel comfortable with the document or the thing that you're going to go get, bring a friend to look it over with you. Bring your spouse, bring your kids, bring someone who is good at this stuff, and whatever that happens to be, and have them be your second pair of eyes. I know my best friend, they just had to buy a car for his wife, and he called me up. He's like, "Oh, I'm sitting here waiting for the person. I'm thinking of getting this. Talk me out of it," because that's just kind of what I do. And now I've offered him a counterpoint to him buying a car. I was like, well, maybe you should consider getting one of these other ones because A, B, C, D. And he didn't listen, but at least he got an opposite opinion. At least you get that contradicting opinion and to get you thinking, to get you in the right state of mind and say, okay, yeah, this was a good deal. I see what he's saying. I'm not going to listen to him. But because of this, this, and this, and it just gives you that second pair of eyes, or that second voice in your head to get a good idea.
You want to talk about that? I have a great experience of one of my close friends. In fact, Sharon Glassy, who has done our podcast.
We did the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, she is an attorney that works in consumer advocacy and lemon law. And she works with fraud in vehicles. And she went with a friend of ours who they were going to buy a new car. Their car had broken, whatever. And so they hadn't bought a car in so long. They asked if she would come. And so she's sitting with them while they're doing all the paperwork, right? And they're like, and you need to sign this for, a warranty, and this for that, and this and this, and you need to pay this fee and that fee and this fee and that fee. And she's going, no, that's against the law. No. and this guy is like, they didn't have a chance. They're like, we don't have a chance, do you? She goes, nope. She's like, all this that you're trying, all these fees that you're adding, this is all baloney. This is all nothing. I'm like, I need to have you come with me the next time we do that. Yeah, nothing like having an attorney to do that with.
Yeah.
But they literally saved them about $4,000 in fees that we would normally think that's just part of the process.
Right.
And unless we know that, which even you and I don't know all that stuff, that's a law degree. Now, everybody can't have a lawyer come with you, but there are things that you really need to take a look at.
Yeah. And there's add-ons that aren't necessarily add-ons that,
right.
When I was getting my most recent car, they're like, oh, we just put this on every car. I'm like, no, you don't. I just test drove it. It's not on there yet. So don't go putting it on there, or I'm going to walk out because I don't want to pay for it. And like, oh, well, it should be on there. wasn't on there 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. 'Cause
So
it definitely, the sales does not end with the salesperson.
right.
It goes right through when you're meeting with the financial guy, and there's all these documents and they're like, well, if you want this and
Right.
we need to do this and this is under, and like, no, half of this stuff.
Yeah. And that's where that second pair of eyes can keep you out of trouble.
100%.
Make sure any verbal agreements are written down. You're buying a house, you're buying a car, you're buying whatever it is that you're buying, and you're promised something. You're signing an agreement for investing. You're doing something. If they promised it to you, have them show it to you in the contract before you sign it. Because if you sign the contract and it's not on there, and at some point you have some kind of disagreement with them, they can go back and look at the contract and say, well, it's not on here.
Right.
I don't remember that, or, you know, and you've
They said they were going to remove that tree from our backyard that had giant roots, or, you know,
right. Or I
they
was going to
said
get
they were going to, oh yeah, well, I know there's only one key right now. We'll get it for you.
get you another
We'll
one.
get you the
Right.
second key. Thank
Yeah.
goodness the Ford dealership that I bought my truck with, they were like stand-up people, because, you know, the one guy goes, oh yeah, we'll get that. I never saw him again. And Ford was like, we have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, if you bought a new car, wouldn't you want your second key? Yeah. And so they got it for me.
Oh, that's good.
There was a lot of that.
But they could have,
Don't take anything for granted.
if you had already
Want it,
signed
have
it.
it in writing.
Right. If you had already signed it, they could have said, tough luck. No.
Well, they definitely could have, and I would
Yeah.
have had nothing to stand on.
Right. So it's something that, you know, make sure it's in writing. You know, that's
Again,
a
it
big one
came
in
back
cars.
to them, you know, being
Wanting
stand
your
up.
business back. Right.
Right. And they want me to do business there.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you don't want to tell your friends, like, don't go there.
Exactly.
Because that word of mouth can spread. Check your rates. What is your rates going to be? Are they fixed? Are they variable? Are they, you know, a promotional 12-month, 18th month, whatever it is? What will they be after the promotion expires? You know, lots of different things here. And we talk to people all the time, like, what's your interest rates? You know, what are your interest rates going to look like on that mortgage you're getting? Right. I don't know. What are interest rates right now? Don't ask me. I already got my mortgage. You're the one looking for a mortgage. You need to know what the interest rates are right now. So check your rates and make sure that you know what you're signing up for as far as rates goes. Are they going to change?
Yeah, you bring up a great point. That especially these days, credit cards are typically variable interest rates.
Yeah,
which go up and down with, and by the way, rates are going to start. They're starting to creep up right now.
Yeah.
So if you see that your interest rates are going up, it's not. It's because that those rates are going up. So if you got an interest rate at 10%, it could be
creep up, start
10.5,
11.
Because those interest rates are coming up. And typically you're not going to see credit cards that aren't. Very few are fixed nowadays with new cards that you get. And that was typically due to the laws that went into place in 2010. That's kind of how the credit card companies got around a lot of these fee laws and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I just knocked over my coffee. Apparently had too much coffee because I'm animated with my hands. So that is something to look at. And Felipe, when we'll bring up the cars again, it was about, I think it was right before COVID, I was in a presentation at a school and we were talking about APRs and it was with a bunch of students. And, you know, I was telling them that a good APR right around this time for a used car is around 2.5%, 3%. And this kid, I could see him in the back of the class and you can see him putting his hands in his face and then he sheepishly puts up his hand and he said, well, what if you just bought a car and it was at a little bit higher interest rate than that? And I'm like, well, because we were talking about this and he's like, I just bought a car 2 weeks ago and my interest rate was 18%. Oh. He's like, I think I made a mistake. Oh boy. I said, well, there are things that you can do about that later, but you know, once officially, you know, again, he took it off the lot. He was so excited about buying a car on his own and he didn't read all of it or didn't understand what he was signing. He you know, might even have read it, but didn't understand it. And to him, didn't understand what an 18% versus a 2% APR meant. And, you know, that's something that, you know, you can take care of later, but you sign the financial document. It's a legal binding document. You're in it.
Yeah, definitely. So know what your fees are going to be. What if you have late fees, if you have early payoff fees. If you have, there's a lot of different fees you can come into play, and you shouldn't be surprised by your fees. You should know ahead of time potentially what your fees could be. Is there going to be, a monthly maintenance fee, an annual fee on your credit card? Is there going to be, there's a lot of fees. Make sure you're aware of what those are going to be ahead of time so that you're not
Right.
surprised when they hit you with a fee, and you can know like, oh, I know what that's for. I should have done this, or I shouldn't have done this. Or yeah, I know every year I'm going to pay $100 to carry this card around, whatever the case might be.
Right.
Some contracts may have built in how disputes are settled, and you want to be aware if that's a thing, where, if there's a dispute, it has to go through arbitration or whatever the different things are, depending on the types of agreement that you're signing. So make sure that you take a look at that. Again, if you're getting a cup of coffee, I don't know how that's settled, and I don't really care because it's only $5. But if you're buying a car, a mortgage, signing up for a contract of sorts for something, that might be worth looking over.
Absolutely.
And then look for the fine print. You see what I did there? Did you read the fine print? It may take a while. You mentioned earlier, maybe you bought something, you're so excited, and then you realize, oh, I might get it by November 1st. November 1st, I didn't read it. I thought it was like October 1st, and it was going to be some fast shipping. I get it on Friday. But read the fine print, check that there's going to be delays, like you mentioned earlier. Check those fees, check if there's promotions. A lot of the things we've talked about in previous slides are going to be in that fine print, not that very exciting page at the front that has like the big color display. It's the boring one in the back that's black and white that has the small.
There is no stone left unturned. All these contracts are very, very well put together by attorneys. They're always going to have words or verbiage in there that are going to cover and protect the companies that are making these, selling you these products or whatever it might be. So, and sometimes the fine print's also there to protect us, the consumer.
Yeah.
But it is something that you need to look at. But if there's a scenario, it's probably covered in that document.
And it can be perfectly normal industry
Yeah.
wide type of fine print. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being ripped off, or that it just be that's the way credit cards work. That's the way car loans work across all different whatever it is. So that fine print isn't necessarily bad. It's just there to cover both sides in the event something is amiss. And then keep a copy. These days, a lot of them are digital. You could just save them on a external hard drive on your computer, whatever, somewhere safe. Put them on a jump drive. You don't necessarily have to have a filing cabinet, but keep a copy for your records so that you have access to it.
I mean, the bottom line is you should keep it for anything like a legal document of some kind for 3 years. But even if you, let's say you buy a car and you should have that at least the term, and then years after the terms of the agreement. So
Yeah.
if you have a car loan for 5 years, you shouldn't get rid of it. You should hold on to it at all times.
All right. Any questions? Any other tips that we may have missed? I know we went a little long today, not too long, but any other questions or tips?
There's really good information out there. That's something this is a common thing we hear quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here
Thank you,
today.
everyone. We have our
You have a
podcast
question?
you can
Yeah.
always listen to. It's called Talk Wealth to Me. Get it wherever you get your other favorite podcasts. Either it's fun and entertaining, or people lie to us and tell us it's fun or entertaining. So check it out and let us know how that works out for you. And our next episode in 2 weeks, crazy mid-October, will be the next one: emergency repairs and lessons learned from Surfside, Florida, and then the unfortunate events that happened there. But emergency repairs and how sometimes you just got to fix things before things go awry. So
yeah, you actually want to do the repairs or maintenance before we get to emergency status.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody, and we look forward to having you join us next time.
Thanks, everybody.